The top 25 games that I am looking forward to in 2024 was an incredibly hard list to compile, mainly because I've got to say, I think I was wrong about 2024 when I said it might potentially end up being a bit thinner than 2023. By all accounts, it is shaping up to be another incredibly full year for gaming. And as I was compiling a list, we were going to kind of go through, here's all the confirmed games for 2024, like look how full the year is. It just got too big, so I decided to take out the top 25 that I am looking forward to. If I was listing all of the current confirmed or slated games for 2024, it would have landed in the 40 to 50 game range, and that's not including like lesser known titles or indies. So I'm even going to have a separate list after I give you my top 25. There's also around 6 or 7 remakes or remasters that I'm also looking forward to as well. Now, I put all the good information right here at the beginning of the video, so you don't have to go searching for it. It's sort of an opening monologue, and then I discuss it with the live audience. So make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss out on my content. So I put together a top 25 list of my most anticipated games of 2024. What was supposed to be just sort of a list of confirmed games coming in the year, it just grew too large for one video. So I got a list of the 25 games announced for 2024 that I am the most anticipating. Now, some of these games have hard dates, some have release windows, and some are just saying that they're coming in 2024. And it's tough to put the list of 25 games in order from what I'm looking forward to the most to the least, but I am going to try to do that. I try to kind of structure it so we start with the most anticipated. And topping the list in the number 1 spot, my most anticipated game of the year is going to be Hellblade 2. Currently, we do not have a date for this game, but I anticipate the Xbox Developer Direct that will likely come in January will give us release dates for their bigger games this year, and I believe Hellblade 2 is going to have a release date at that event, and this to me is the biggest game from Xbox in 2024, at least for me. Now, second, and this almost took first place, but second is going to be Star Wars Outlaws. As a huge Star Wars fan, I think this game looks very promising. We're hearing more and more about it and just their ambition for the title, and I think it looks awesome. And same deal for this one. We currently do not have a date, other than there was the recent situation where there was a Disney Parks blog that said late 2024 was when it was going to be showing up, and they corrected it to just it's coming in 2024. So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be Black Myth Wukong, and I've been looking at this game for a very, very long time. We're hearing really good things about how it's sort of a combination of like Souls and God of War, and the gameplay and the art style just looks fantastic. This is one of the games landing in Unreal 5. We have had some games land in Unreal 5 that have struggled a little bit, so we are hoping that this game doesn't land there. We're hearing very good things about it. There currently is a release date for this one, so I'm going to try to tell you the release dates of all the ones that we actually know. This one is releasing August 20th of 2024. Now, the 4th game on my list is right around the corner, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and that is releasing on January the 15th. I'm making this video on January the 5th. So the performance info just dropped for this game, and I think it looks like a blast. I love platformers, and this one seems to capture all the things that I want in a game like this. There's fluidity of movement, there's great animations and attacks, there's boss fights. I just love how much variety we're getting in 2024, and Prince of Persia certainly deserves to be on my list with how big of a fan I am of platformers and just adding to that variety in 2024. Now, the 5th game that I'm looking forward to is Nightingale, and this game has sort of drifted a bit from the public's eye, but I still think the potential for this game is huge. A very creative open-world survival game with co-op. You can create worlds with these combinations of cards. The potential there is very, very good. I think you could have a lot of differences in the game could truly shine, kind of like how you randomly procedurally generate planets in No Man's Sky. This could be very similar. Currently, the game shows a launch date of February the 22nd on Steam. Now, I would love to see this game be successful on PC and then find its way to consoles as well. 6th game on the list is Helldivers 2. A big question mark about this game is how they plan to support ongoing game content and if they do consider this a live service game. By all accounts, it looks like that's what this game will turn out to be. But the gameplay looks fun, and it's a good knock-around co-op game where you're just going to shoot some aliens with your buds, and I just think That's a great vibe. It kind of harkens back to classic co-op experiences. Maybe you played Perfect Dark or Time Splitters with your buddies, and I really am looking forward to Helldivers. Helldivers 2's release date is February the 8th. The 7th game on my list is Stellar Blade, and this one just recently was confirmed for 2024, and they even showed off some new gameplay in the PlayStation 2024 trailer. So both the PlayStation blog as well as the trailer has confirmed that Stellar Blade is coming in 2024. And the more I see of the combat, the more I really want to play this game. It currently does not have a release date, but it has been confirmed for 2024 by PlayStation. The 8th game on my list is Stalker 2. This game is currently targeting the first quarter of 2024, and while we did notice there is some lighting degradation recently from the very first trailer, I still think the overall gameplay look of this game is incredible. Looks very strong, the NPCs, the environments. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, again, they're aiming at a first quarter of 2024 release. This is a big one for Xbox alongside Hellblade 2. They could have two very strong, very graphically strong games for 2024. The 9th game on my list is the First Descendant. They are aiming at a summer of 2024 release, and I really enjoyed the beta more than I expected. And many players seem to think that they had good improvements since the alpha, and as long as there's no scummy microtransactions, those don't start to come into play, this game could see some rotation from me, because it really was a fun loop and satisfying gameplay. Number 10 on my list of the top 25 games of 2024 that I'm looking forward to. I know I'm going to get pushback on this one, but I actually think Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League looks like a blast. And I've had to say, going into it, I'm going to judge it on its own terms. I'm not going to judge this game based on what I thought Rocksteady should have built instead. Kill the Justice League releases on January the 30th, so that is right around the corner. And we will quickly know if this game is worth your time or worth jumping into. The 11th game that I'm looking forward to is Rise of the Ronin. While I think some of the graphics and the animations aren't that great, I am interested because the combat looks good, and co-op in a game like this is intriguing. Rise of the Ronin is releasing on March 22nd, and that's a date you're going to hear a couple of times in this list. The 12th game on my list is Space Marine 2. Now, I continue to think the gameplay that we've seen up to now is potentially fully rendered. It doesn't look like raw gameplay. It's a little too good to be true, which means performance is a big question mark. From some of the early previews, we heard that, performance was a bit of an issue. Now, this one is releasing on September the 9th, so hopefully they can use most of 2024 to polish this to make sure it runs well, because I think it looks awesome. The 13th game that I'm anticipating is Banishers, Ghosts of Eden. We finally got to look at gameplay, and I think it looks super creative. You got two characters working together. One is dead, one is not, and there's a very interesting story being, interwoven there, and one's supposed to let go of the other one and release them, let them actually fully die, right? But the gameplay looks awesome. And this one is releasing very soon on February the 13th. My 14th game of the year that I'm looking forward to is Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. This game looks really fun and unique with combat. It also is slated for old gen and next gen, so it'll be interesting to see how well it runs on those older systems, because I think it's actually a very good looking game. And the latest trailer says summer of 2024. Number 15 is one that I anticipate, again, getting pushback on, but I think one of the sleeper hits this year will be Foam Stars. Currently, the game has been promised to land in 2024 for both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Some outlets are reporting early 2024, but the official Twitter just says 2024. So we're looking for Foam Stars sometime this year as another one of a live service games for PlayStation. Now, this is not a first-party title. This is from Square Enix, but we do know that live service push is something that PlayStation wants to lean into. The 16th game that I'm anticipating is the Plucky Squire, and this is from Devolver Digital. It really looks fun. Great art style, super creative and innovative, jumping in and out of books, and the meshing of art style and gameplay. I just think it looks like a blast. It is currently slated for 2024 per the company, as well as the latest PlayStation trailer and blog. Number 17 on my list for 2024 is Avowed. Currently, like all of the Xbox games, I actually expect to have a release date announcement at the Developer Direct in January, so currently no release date. And yes, recently, I said this might be one of the bigger disappointments of 2024, but that's because the gameplay and the art style look like it's a bit rough, and I think people are overhyping this game. I was told multiple times, Obsidian doesn't miss. Well, I made similar observations about Redfall, and I was assured that Arcane don't miss, and there was even the montage, and there was a full-on defense force for Redfall before it came out. Well, turns out those early awkward looks at gameplay were indicative of the game's quality, and those who defended it and said Arcane doesn't miss, well, they quickly turned on the game as well as Arcane. I actually think Avowed could be awesome, and I am looking forward to it, but I am not buying into the hype. I still think those early gameplay looks are a bit rough, so I need to see more before I think this one's going to land strongly, but I am interested in it because I do think the gameplay and the world look like a good time. Number 18 on the list is 33 Immortals. This is a game from Thunder Lotus. 33 people playing through a top-down dungeon that will be a distillation of MMO raids. I think it just sounds awesome. This is another Xbox title, so it is coming in 2024, but you're going to have to wait for the release date. Again, we're looking at that developer direct to kick off the year for Xbox and give us those release dates, and we're going to kind of bunch these up together. My 19th game of 2024 is Towerborn. I've got the Xbox group sort of grouped together right here, and this one has great art style, side-scroller action, up to 4-player co-op. It just looks fun. This is one that I think they may shadow drop or do like a quick drop after the developer direct. If they're going to do a shadow drop or like a, hey, this game comes out in a week, I think it's going to be Towerborn. That's my current prediction. There's also a prediction they're going to do that with Kiln, but we don't know much about that, so that one it could actually be more of a a shadow drop, similar to Hi-Fi Rush. But my money is on Towerborn. Number 20 is the Tales of Kenzera. Now, this one debuted during the Game Awards, and I just think the movement, the art style, it all just looks very dope. It releases on April 23rd, and I am just a sucker for fun, fast, and fluid platformers, and this one looks like it's got that. It's got good action, good combat. 21. Number 21 on the list is Dragon's Dogma 2. A recent batch of gameplay has been released with information and a couple of different classes that you can play as. This is another one just around the corner, releasing on March 22nd. It will likely overshadow Rise of the Ronin. This is a long-awaited title with a very excited fan base. I actually think this game looks fun. I think the boss fights and the bigger fights, they look pretty interesting. It looks like it's going to be a good time. Number 22, Pacific Drive, a super unique survival game with a car. You sort of beef up the car, level up the car to get further, go further, and survive more. And this is another one releasing very soon. This one is releasing on February the 22nd. Number 23, I gotta give some love to Princess Peach Showtime. Now, this is another one that's stacking up on March 22nd. That's a very full release date. That is when this one's releasing. I included this in my Nintendo stream, and I mainly said that I was excited for this one for my daughter, but the more I've looked at it, I really think this game is going to be a blast, regardless of your age, or maybe you'd rather play as Mario and not Peach. I think this one's going to be fun, and it's well worth checking out, coming on March 22nd. Number 24, not November 24. Number 24 is a little lesser known, but I think Lightyear Frontier looks awesome. It was supposed to release last year in 2023, and now it is slated for 2024. It is a PC and Xbox title. It seems to be including last gen as well, so if you're on an Xbox One, it's kind of like a No Man's Sky style farming open world adventure game. You can play with up to 3 friends. You sort of walk around in those mech suits. I just think it looks great. I love the art style. The content loop seems very satisfying. Currently no hard release date, but Steam does say March of 2024. So the first quarter of 2024 is really stacked. And bringing in number 25, listen, I got to include Call of Duty, okay? This Black Ops, Gulf War, whatever reboot that they're doing. We currently have no info or release date, only insider information, but Black Ops 1 is still one of, if not the greatest campaign stories in Call of Duty history. So I'm very interested to see how they reboot it. So that's it. My top 25 games of 2024 that I'm anticipating, but very quickly, listen to this. I'm not done, because there are remakes and remasters. I didn't want to include those in there because I want to be like, listen, here are all the brand new games coming in 2024 that I'm looking forward to, but I'm also looking forward to these remakes and remasters. The Last of Us 2 Remastered, right around the corner. Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, another one right around the corner. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered, right around the corner. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, right around the corner. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, and Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster. That's 7, well, it's 9 if you count all 3 Tomb Raiders. So 9 remasters or remakes that I think look very, very promising. And I left out a whole host of other games in 2024 that are maybe a little less interesting to me, but I'm still potentially going to check them out. Like a Dragon, Tekken 8, Skull and Bones, Forever Skies, Concord, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Dungeons of Hinterberg, The Casting of Frank Stone, and more. Now, some of those I'm going to completely avoid, not really a fighting game guy, but certain genres don't appeal to me. Just listing those to show you, 2024, I think, is about to be more stuffed with games than 2023 was, and I think that is something to celebrate. But hey, that's just my list. What's on your list? So let me give you my closing thoughts and conclusion here. This is one of those times where I'm happy to say I was wrong. 2024 was looking a little thin until I actually looked at the list of games coming, and many more games are targeting 2024 that I didn't even include. Now, this is a great problem to have as a gamer. Who cares about console wars or fighting on Twitter when everybody's swimming in games? The second thing I want to say is, hopefully this is not some overstuffed overflow from all of the delays of the previous years, because 2025 and beyond could feel like a drought in comparison to this year. That would be, I think, maybe the only potential negative to come out of 2024. It just sets this expectation, and then people are pretty disappointed because maybe the pattern isn't going to hold. But I do think there is a pattern that seems to hold. Halfway through the new gen, the momentum picks up, and the back half of a generation is sort of the golden era, and I feel like we're about to enter that time. My conclusion is this: now is not just a great time to be a gamer, it's a great time to be a multi-platform gamer. PC Master Race, Xbox, Sony Pony, just shed these nonsense labels. I'm playing everything and everywhere I can this year, from Nintendo to remakes and remasters, to PlayStation exclusive, to Game Pass games. My plate isn't just full, it's toppling over onto the table. When days like March 22nd exist, where you have Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Princess Peach Showtime, well, the gaming community isn't just eating good. We're going to pass out like it's Thanksgiving. But those are just my thoughts, and that's just my list of games. Now it's time to hear your thoughts and your list of games. And that's the show open. Thank you guys so much for being here. That's a full list. I went through it about as quickly as I could. I'm so pleased that I actually had all the images loaded into Chrome in the right order. I was so nervous. I was like, every time I hit Control Tab, I'm like, it's gonna be the wrong image. I like slap that together really, really quickly before starting. And kicking off the day is Ghost in the Garage Gaming. The first gifted member of the day was a 20 bomb. He did it during the monologue like a champ, and he just upgraded to VIP. That's my man right there. And then, not to be outdone, Skatinator jumps right on top and gets us to our first 25 goal of the day. He gifts a 5 bomb. Thank you guys so much for kicking off the day right. Let me check the fan funding page to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, it's just Ghosts in the Garage Gaming and Skatinator tag teaming to ensure that we hit the number just that fast. Loosen your belts, boys. We are feasting. Not hyped for Elden Ring DLC, or you don't think it makes it to 2024. I just didn't want to include DLC. I mean, I'm presuming and assuming we get the Elden Ring DLC. I'm presuming and assuming that Spider-Man 2 gets something this year. I just didn't want to include stuff like that. I want to be like, no, these are the games coming. These are when they're coming. That gets a little, foggy. So yeah, definitely Elden Ring DLC for sure. Looking forward to it. Dan Hickman, welcome back as a member. DK Bager, Agents of Chaos, says, we're not going to sit there on 25 members. Are you kidding me? And he pushes us past and sets us on the goal for 50. And Silver Subaru, renewing for almost 3 years, 35 months. 2025 looking to be a great year for gaming. I think you meant to put 2024. Light No Fire. That's just it. We don't have a date for Light No Fire. We have a trailer. The DLC and updates we're getting this year are insane too. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16's getting a DLC. Joker Quinn gifts a member and pushes the line a little bit further to 27. Suede says, I joined late. Anyone seen the first 4 on the list? I assume Outlaws was on there. Yeah, Outlaws was number 2. My first 4 was Hellblade 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Black Myth Wukong, Prince of Persia Lost Crown, and Nightingale. That was like my first 5. Lancelot, thanks for jumping back in as a VIP. Why aren't you hyped for the microtransactions of Star Citizen? It only costs a whopping $48,000. I've not paid much attention to that game, I'll be honest with you. William Breimer upgraded to a VIP. Today's the day to upgrade. You want to make sure you're either at a member or a VIP. If you're at the $5 gifted tier, that means somebody either gifted the membership to you or you're still on the old tier. You need to bump up to the $6 tier. That's a full membership. Friday nights are now reserved for that tier and above. Mike on the mic gifts another member and takes us to 28. Thank you so much, my friend. Hope you are well. I hope so. That's the most anticipated game for me. That and Outlaws. Hype for Snake Eater remake. Oh my gosh, I left that one out of the remake and remasters list. I forgot about that one. PlayStation confirmed that the Metal Gear remake is coming this year. That's another one. I listed like 7 remakes or remasters coming this year, in addition to the top 25. Anybody that tells you gaming stinks or gaming's in a bad spot or there's nothing to play, their eyes are closed. There's no way. There's no way they're paying attention to anything right now if they actually think that. Like, it is absolutely a stacked year. An absolutely stacked year. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Good to have you here, Feed. Sorry, did you mention Hades 2? Oh, I forgot about Hades 2. That's another one that probably deserves a mention. I'm not big on rogues, but I've been kind of growing more fond of rogues lately. So yeah, Hades 2 might get rotated in for me. I can't believe I forgot Hades 2. Like, don't be mad at me, chat. Don't be mad at me, all right? It's just one of those things, man. Skatinator with another 5 bomb. This guy's been bringing the heat lately, and he bumps the line to 33 all by himself. Thank you so much, Skatinator. If you guys got gifted a membership, you can upgrade for $1, and a 20 bomb comes in from Ghosts in the Garage Gaming. He says the 50 goal is done. Signed, sealed, and delivered by me, and he pushes us past 53 out of 75. This is absolutely incredible. I told you that Ghosts in the Garage Gaming brings the gifted member heat the other day, and he's doing it again today. Thank you so much, sir. Guys, make sure that you're bumping that membership up. You got to gift it, all right? You can bump it up for $1. You can bump up, and then you can get into all of the extra content. The only thing you don't get when you pick a standard membership, the only thing you don't get is VIP, and that's once a week on Friday. There's just way too much to keep track of. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yesterday when we were making that list, people just kept throwing out titles. I was like, oops, forgot about that one. Oops, forgot about that one. Oh my, but what about that one? What about that one? What about that one? Just like, oh my word. I wanted to do a list of like all of the titles that had been confirmed. Joker Quinn bumps the line again to 54 in Gothmog with a month. The Thaumaturge is coming out in February. It looks pretty cool. I've not even heard of that. If you're paying for your own membership, Gothmog, you want to bump up to member and not be at gifted. That gifted tier is no longer getting access to the extra streams. The vast majority of our memberships are not are gifted, and so the people that are in that core group paying for their own, we made that decision, and we think that's the right call. So if you want to come to the extra content, you got to upgrade from gifted. Y'all naming all these games, list would be 100 games long, and there'd be no chat. So glad you mentioned the First Descendant. As long as the First Descendant keeps the microtransactions under wraps, then I'm not too concerned about what ends up happening, right? Because there's always the potential that it gets away from them, or they decide to do stuff that's kind of scummy. That's always a possibility, I'm not sure yet where that game's going to end up. The biggest concern with a game like the First Descendant is they get a bunch of people hooked like in the first, they get everybody hooked in the first month or so, or the first couple of months, and then that second season comes out and they're like, oh gosh. Thaumaturge and Broken Roads looks cool. As long as the game is not pay to win, I'm good. Yeah, it's just a concern with the company attached to it. They've done that kind of microtransactions, pay to win stuff before in other games. I said Banishers like 10 times yesterday, not realizing he really had it. Made me feel like an a-hole. I mean, I wrote stuff on the board and didn't always say it out loud, JC. So yeah, I had Banishers on the board. Isn't that odd walking game coming out this year? Yeah, Baby Steps is also coming out this year. I didn't include that. That's not a game I'm like super looking forward to. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a funny Friday night game to get frustrated with, but I'm not like, dude, I can't wait to play Baby Steps, bro. Like, it's not at the top of my list. That's for sure. Guys, make sure you're going through the ritual. Smash that like button. The Friday stream is a little bit shorter. It's only about an hour long, and we're already about halfway through the show. And then I'm going to just do a recap. I'm going to do a recap show with Mike about all the different things going on, basically from the week. You know, the PS5 Pro, the Nintendo Switch 2, Star Wars Outlaws. You know, we're going to walk through my list of games. What's his list of games? You know, there's a lot of games coming out. Infinite Wealth and Persona 3 Reloaded got me eating good till Dragon's Dogma 2. Same game looks like a controller breaker. Yeah, Baby Feet's definitely a controller breaker. Oh, you're getting forced to play Baby Steps on Friday, no doubt. Yeah, we need a good 2-player game tonight for Madam and I, or, you know, maybe something recent on PlayStation that would be funny to watch us play with 2 controllers. If you guys remember, you can do the co-pilot setting on the PlayStation 5, and 2 people can control 1 character. That might be fun too. I'm just not sure what we would play. Prince of Persia Lost Crown. Thankfully, that's in 10 days. Yeah, Prince of Persia's right around the corner. A bunch of the games I listed in the top 25 are landing in January, February, and March. A bunch of them. Rich Rod, Convaleria, maybe 2024, supposedly. I didn't put anything on the list that I wasn't confident was coming this year, right? Like, I included, what was the one that I included that was slated for last year and it got bumped to this year? It was near the end, wasn't it? Yeah. Lightyear Frontier. Lightyear Frontier was supposed to be out last year. Now it says this year. I believe it says March. You know, that seems like that's coming this year. You know, I didn't want to include anything that was like speculative or, you know, it's a maybe not. I didn't want to do that. I believe, let me double check myself on Lightyear Frontier. Let's see here. No, I think it actually just says that it's slated for this year. I forget there was one that said March. It might be Nightingale. Is that the one? There was one that, like, we didn't have a date for, like, a really long time. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, it's coming in March. And I feel like that might be Nightingale or maybe Banishers. No, Banishers is February the 13th. So that one's right around the corner. Let me go back up here to Nightingale. Let's see. Potential for this game is huge. Public's eye. Blah, 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 blah. No, Nightingale's February the 22nd. I can't remember the game now that I said in the opener that was like, oh, yeah, it's slated for March. But they don't have a date. I forget the one that I read now. Is it Banishers? Nope. Banishers is February the 13th. Flintlock. Is it Flintlock? No. Flintlock is summer of this year. Plucky Squire, no. Avowed, no. What's the game? Not 33 Immortals. It's not Towerborn. Not Tales of Kenzera. It's not Dragon's Dogma. Not Pacific Drive. Princess Peach. I can't think of the one that said that. Oh no, it is. It is Lightyear Frontier. I put it at the bottom part of that section in my monologue. I am sorry. Currently no hard release date, but Steam says March of 2024. I apologize. I was correct from the very beginning. It was Lightyear Frontier. I was like, I think that's the one. Yeah, so I didn't want to include a bunch of titles that we might be like, oh yeah, nope, not coming. I didn't want to do that. I think that one's the one that I put in there that didn't really say much, but they were supposed to be last year, and now it's this year, and they've got it slated for March. So, and that seems to be an Xbox PC exclusive as well. So for Xbox fans, I'm not sure if that one's slated for Game Pass or not, but I think it looks really dope. Time to play is one problem. The bigger problem is all the money I'm going to pay. Yeah, I struggled this last year. I would be just getting into the meat of a game, and I would feel like something else would come out. Where is Silksong? We don't know anything. My prediction is that Silksong will show up at the Xbox showcase in the summer, and Silksong will have a third or fourth quarter release. That's my prediction. The last time the developer said anything was sometime last year, pretty much making it clear they weren't going to be at any of the summer stuff, but he also indicated the game had gotten quite large. You know, my hope would be another year and a half would be enough time for them to get that game ready. Is the Moon Studios game slated for this year, or is that still undated? I believe that's undated. I forget the name of that one. It's like the action RPG top-down, right? How do you feel about Helldivers 2? Wukong, I don't know about pre-order data, but Black Myth Wukong is slated for August. I believe it's August the 20th. I'm trying to, it's hard to remember all the dates and all the exact times, but my thoughts on Helldivers 2 is it looks like a really, really fun time. I don't question whether or not you can make a game fun where I can boot up with some bros and shoot some aliens, okay? I know that can be fun. Oh, no Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, I don't think Rest for the Wicked even has a release window, does it? I don't think that it does. No, because they just did that trailer. No Rest for the Wicked release date. That can't be right. This is saying released on March 1st? No. Really? No Rest for the Wicked is releasing on March 1st? That can't be right. Hang on. Let me pull open this article that I just found. Google might be a little drunk. Sometimes I think they grab info from articles and they get it wrong. That'll be crazy if it's actually coming out that fast. All right. Deserto here says, No Rest for the Wicked will be released on March 1st of 2024. No Rest for the Wicked will be released on PC, PS5, Series X, and S. There's no word on old gen. Check out the trailer below. All right, let me check out the trailer. No. It's not releasing March 1st. It says learn more at Wicked Inside March 1st. Yeah. That's throwing everybody off. I made the same mistake, I think, when I was kind of making my reaction monologue to the Game Awards. I thought the same thing. The ending frame of the trailer looks like this. Learn more at Wicked Inside March 1st. This is an event on March 1st, and I think what's throwing everybody off is the font change here. People are like, oh yeah, you can learn more at Wicked Inside. Oh, and the game's coming out March 1st. No. Yeah. No. Because that was an official reveal trailer. That'd be bonkers. You'd be like, yep, official reveal. It's coming out in 5 months. That'd be amazing. So, No Rest for the Wicked, I do not believe is releasing on March 1st. I don't think that that's true. Especially since you can only wishlist it on Steam, and I don't think Steam has a release date. What Steam say, coming soon? If it says coming soon, that means the developers have not submitted a release window or a release date. I'll believe Wukong's releasing when I see it on shelves. I mean, there's a bunch of gameplay previews available right now. Didn't a bunch of people get a chance to play it? I don't think that thing's like some weird tech test slice anymore. I think the game's largely built. It's a release announcement for a release announcement. That's right. It's an announcement for an announcement. Deserto still didn't fix their article. I mean, they need to go back and fix it. It's not that big of a deal. I think they're the only ones reporting that, but I made the same mistake, but I did it in a video, so I couldn't go back and correct an opening live stream monologue. Okay, so the release date for No Rest for the Wicked on Steam says to be announced. So they're not even saying coming soon. So I think to be announced is the furthest out, typically. No release date from Xbox means the game's delayed to next year. Only trust Sony dates. I think that's a weird posture. I mean, I think what Xbox is doing makes perfectly good sense to me. I think what they're going to do is keep all their dates unknown, and then they're going to walk out on the developer direct, and every single time they show a game, they're going to give you the release date. And I think they're going to shadow drop Towerborn. Now, people are saying that they might shadow drop Kiln. We don't know anything about Kiln, so maybe it'll be like a Hi-Fi Rush surprise where, like, we know virtually nothing, and boom, they drop it, right? In my estimation, I think Towerborn, of the titles we know about, Towerborn makes the most sense to... It really wouldn't be a shadow drop because we already know about it, but it would be essentially a shadow drop. They'd be like, you can play it right now, or Towerborn, you can play it next week, or something to that effect. I think they're going to give us release dates for everything else. You're going to get a release date for Avowed, for Hellblade 2, for Immortals 33, for Towerborn, maybe even some surprises in there. You know, I actually think X-Men's got... X-Men. I actually think Xbox got a pretty full year. So, this guy says, why do you ask people to up their memberships? Isn't that arrogant begging? Shouldn't you, be happy with any membership and not demand people pay more? Well, no, that's not why we do it. We do it because gifted memberships are from a person who's already supporting me, and the people that get the gifted membership, they get a chance to, like, try out the extra content, and then if they really want it, they can scoop up and grab their own membership. So, it's if you think it's begging... I gift more memberships to my channel than most of the people who criticize me even have memberships. So, you know, I guess maybe add that up and see what sort of accusation you come up with. The people that say that about PlayStation games are the ones who are mad they can't play those games. I mean, I don't think this even needs to be a PlayStation versus Xbox or Nintendo or PC Master Race. Like, I think that every platform's got a bunch coming. Pretty full year. Xbox only has Avowed and Senua, in my opinion, this year. Well, you can't say they only have and then say, in my opinion. You could say, these are the only games I'm interested in. I'm more interested in Xbox's lineup this year than last year. I'm more interested in Xbox's lineup this year than last year. Because I think Hellblade 2 looks great. 33 Immortals looks great. Towerborn looks great. Avowed is the only one I'm a little like, okay, maybe. If, let's say, Avowed lands, right? Let's say Avowed lands and it's amazing. That's 4 solid releases. Now, there's a lot of variety there. I get that. You might not be all that enthused about 33 Immortals and Towerborn. That's fine. But that's a great year. Like, if you... Here's the thing you got to remember. If you think every title that drops for a particular platform is going to hit you, like, at the top shelf, I think your expectations are way out of whack. They're way out of whack. Even during PlayStation's strongest year, I would say to date, where we got Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, and then you got timed exclusives with Stray and Ghostwire Tokyo, guess what? I wasn't interested in Ghostwire Tokyo. Stray, okay, my daughter liked it more than me. I wasn't interested in Gran Turismo 7. 2 out of those titles interested me the most. Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. Like, I think you've got to readjust your expectations if you think every first-party thing that this platform comes out with, it better be a banger. It's like, if you enjoy 1 or 2 of the first parties from every platform, that's in addition to all of the other third-party multiplats coming out. So I'm going to get 3 to 4, from where I stand, I'm going to get 3 to 4 amazing titles from Xbox that are first party. I can only play them there. I'm going to get 3 to 4 good first parties from PlayStation. I'm going to get 3 to 4 really good first parties from Nintendo. And then there's all the other stuff. There's all the other third-party multiplats. That's why I said, like, forget all this Sony Pony, Xbot. Like, forget all that. Like, just, I'm a multi-platform gamer. I don't care about any of that stuff. And if one platform is thinner than another for me, it's like, you know, okay, I just won't play that platform as much. You can't say GT7 and VR2 isn't great. It's amazing. Plenty of people could say GT7 and VR2 isn't great if they don't like it. Telling somebody that they can't say something isn't great is ridiculous. Of course somebody could say that. Somebody could slap on the VR2 headset and think, GT7's not that great. That's their own perception and their own experience. I thought Gran Turismo 7 in the PSVR 2 was amazing. Guess what? I've not played it since. Why? I'm not a racing game guy. Like, I just don't enjoy racing games. So it's like, if you look at the lineup for Xbox and for PlayStation and for Nintendo, and you're like, yeah, well, half those games don't interest me. Okay, that doesn't mean they're not releasing games. Xbox cannot afford a mid game, though. I don't want them to look like a AAA experience. Well, I think looking like a AA experience, you said. Looking like a AA experience. I mean, again, I get where you're coming from. Like, Avowed certainly doesn't look like some super top shelf, crazy, graphically strong game, right? But that doesn't mean it can't be really, really fun. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of games you can play right now that aren't mind-blowingly photorealistic, and they're fantastic. I would say No Man's Sky is one of the best-looking games you can play. Its art style's fantastic. It's not some next-gen tour de force, and it's an amazing game. It's really, really fun. But I also think the lighting and the setting and the tone of Cyberpunk, especially if you look at some of the people with like the really beefy PCs, like Cyberpunk looks incredible, but they're very different games, and it's going to come down to preferences of like what you like and what you want to play. I think we're going to see in the future a bigger push for unique art style over, man, those graphics have got to blow my eyeballs out of my head. Okay, I want games to look good, but you know what matters way more to me than a game looking next gen? I want next gen performance. Like, if Avowed can give me 1440 60 and it also looks pretty nice and the gameplay's dope, dude, that's an 8.5 automatic for me. I'll play it. I'll put a ton of time into it. But I don't think we need to. I think the obsession over graphics is getting lost, because people are like, well, you always talk about graphics. No, I talk about performance. I talk about next gen. It needs to look next gen. The art style doesn't have to automatically be, though, photorealistic. Now, the reason I said Avowed doesn't really look next gen is because some of the instances, just the actual performance of the game, the texture mapping, the lighting, it just looks like an older game. And then other scenes look incredible, like the one NPC guy that's like, he looks like a fish man or something. He looks fantastic. So it's like, I'm not sure what we're looking at. Are we looking at vertical slices? Are we looking at early gameplay? It just looks kind of rough. But that doesn't mean it can't be a good game, and that doesn't mean it can't perform well. Returnal at 1080 looks stunning. Returnal's 1080 internal, though. You're not actually looking at a 1080 output. The last we looked into that, I thought that was an internal with an upscale. You're not seeing the internal resolution. Now, certain games, if the internal is really low and the upscale is really extreme and the dynamic resolution's going up and down, you might notice it a little bit. But I'm expecting Avowed to feel like Outer Worlds now. Yeah, I mean, I had somebody that was really irritated with me yesterday because I said that, that there was a clip of me where I said that they removed co-op. And he's like, they didn't remove co-op. They just switched it back to single player. And I'm like, did you just hear what you just said? It's like, yeah, they didn't remove co-op. They just removed co-op. It's like they were planning on building a co-op game, and then they reworked it and said, no, we're not going to do that. That's removing co-op. I was responding to someone else. I know you're responding to someone else, but like, I don't think Returnal is at 1080. I think it's internal 1080. There's a big difference between that and like actual output being 1080. Yo, Gavin with a gifted member, thank you so much. Putting it at 55. We've had some really big member bombs today, and 55 out of 75, man, you're tempting a 20 bomb for sure. Only buying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this year and playing through my backlog this year. Got to stay focused because I've literally been all over the place playing everything and finishing nothing. Yeah, the backlog really grew this year. My backlog's probably going to grow even more next year, if I'm honest. I think Avowed will be good, but niche game for Pathfinder fans. We'll see. We'll see. I think sometimes people need to remember that an opinion is just that. Like, it's just an opinion. Like, if my opinion is like, Avowed looks like it has some, you know, concerning red flags about it. Like, why do you care that I say that? Why is that such a big deal? Like, if somebody said that they thought Hellblade looked graphically bad, and I came out and did a stream about it, and I said, I think it looks good. But I tell you what I didn't do. I didn't get upset at the people who said they thought it looked bad and, like, lose my sense of emotional stability and, like, call them names. I was just like, I think it looks great. Like, it's totally fine if you look at the Hellblade 2 trailer and you're like, I don't know, dude, the graphics look kind of jank. It looks like they're trying to hide bad graphics. I don't understand why anybody would react to that with, like, emotional instability and name calling. It's just like, I went on the defensive and said, I think it looks good. So it's like, that's your opinion. Here's my opinion. Let's let those opinions clash together. It's like, in my opinion, there's concerning things about Avowed. I think it could end up being one of the disappointing games this year. Coming unglued like a child throwing a tantrum. Like, I don't get that. Just be like, well, I don't agree. I think it looks great. I'm confident they're going to build a great game. Okay, cool. We both just expressed different opinions like that. Why? It's just like, why do you care so deeply about what I say? Like, there are plenty of people who probably heard my top 25 list, and I guarantee you there's a bunch of games on my top 25 list that they're like, that game looks like trash. Cool, man. Like, cool, bro. Don't play it then. Like, you know, I think Suicide Squad Kill the Justice Leagues looks like it's going to be a friggin' blast. I think Foam Stars looks like it's going to be a sleeper hit. And if you're like, they look like garbage. Okay, fine. I don't know. Why do I care? You're not playing them. I'm going to play them. Well, you probably will. I think a lot of people are gonna get one over. They're gonna hear their buddies talking about some of these games and be like, all right, let me check this game out. You're more interested in Concord than the next Call of Duty? I'm interested in Call of Duty because I still think to this day Black Ops 1 is one of the best, if not the best, Call of Duty campaigns to date. The first Black Ops, the numbers mason, the twists and the turns, fantastic storytelling. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do, you know, rebooting and, you know, and going to the Gulf War. I think I'm interested. You know, I pay $10 a month to say that Lono's opinion is right. Just tell me. Be like, dude, I think it looks like trash. That's fine. You don't have to call me trash. Just say you disagree. Like, I disagree. I think the game looks great. I think the game looks bad. Whatever. All I know about Concord is that it's multiplayer. I'm pretty sure that we know it's an extraction shooter, I believe. I believe we know that much more. It's more than just that it's multiplayer. I believe that we know it's an extraction shooter, which is why I didn't include it, because I'm not interested in extraction shooters. I don't like them. I think we're going to end up with too many of them. Everybody's building extraction shooters now. We're going to have the Battle Royale thing that we had. You're going to have the same thing with extraction shooters. Like, every time I turn around, somebody's building a freaking extraction shooter. It's like, okay, you know. We'll see how it shakes out. I get the appeal. I really do. You're taking the adrenaline rush of the risk reward of like a rogue where like, I'm going to lose everything. And you're taking that and you're kind of like injecting that into like a battle royale PvP format. And I think that's very, very compelling as a cocktail. But we don't know it's extraction, but that trailer has it written all over it. I thought they said somewhere in a blog that it was extraction. I might be wrong. Lone Wolf says, what specifically are the red flags for Avowed? Graphical degradation, graphical oddities in the trailer, odd animations in the combat. The gameplay and the combat sequences look significantly lower quality than the other scenes that they show and that NPC that they show. The huge shift in art style, like what was the motivation for the shift in art style? Because the original art style in the original trailer looks super sick. The removal of co-op, I truly hope that they're telling the truth. Like, I hope when they say, yeah, we included multiplayer because that was a buzzword to publishers, but once we started building the game, our cup of tea at questing and quest building and sketching out the game, co-op just wasn't going to fit. I hope that's the real reason. because there's a pattern on that platform of you showed us these graphics and we got these graphics. You told us we were going to get these features and we didn't get those features. That's a pattern over there. You can't look at Xbox and say that's not a pattern. It's a pattern. It happened with Redfall. It happened with Forza Motorsport. I would even argue that Starfield landing with 30 FPS is a broken promise. It's like, what are you guys doing over there? Why can't your games run like the rest of the next-gen world? And then out walks Avowed. And it's like, here we go again. Another game that looks nothing like when you originally showed it. Graphical degradation. Oh, and features have been removed. Cool, man. I really, really hope that it's just pure coincidence. It's just pure coincidence that happened with Avowed. You know, I don't know. I will happily make that video because I saw a bunch of red flags and a bunch of oddities and awkwardness with Redfall's gameplay, and I said, I think this looks bad. I got called a hater. The defense force for Redfall came out, and we had a montage, and it's a fun game, and Arcane don't miss, and that game was in a shambles, and then everybody turns and, oh yeah, Arcane didn't want to make it, and it was bad at the PC capture event, but I couldn't tell you because of an NDA, but I can tell you now because magically the NDA just expired today. That whole nonsense, it's like, I see all the same red flags with Avowed. I see everybody hyping it up. I see everybody going on the defense force and saying Obsidian don't miss. And it's like, I see graphical degradation and feature removal. That seems like something that's happened before over there. So, we'll see. We'll see. I got people talking about Avowed coming first quarter or first half of this year. Is there any extended gameplay anywhere? Do we have any extended gameplay? Like this close to launch, why don't we have more extended gameplay? Where's the raw gameplay? Now, again, I will leave room. I will leave room for the developer direct's going to come out swinging. We're going to get lengthy gameplay of Hellblade, lengthy gameplay of Avowed, lengthy gameplay of, all these other, of 33 Immortals and Towerborn. And release date. Dude, if that's how they kick off the year, put a blue ribbon on them. That's a great start. But I don't understand why we haven't seen more. I hope we see more. There are people like, oh, I really think Hellblade's coming first quarter. I don't. I hope it comes late this year because I want them to have as much time to build it as possible. And, marketing strategies are changing. So I'm not going to act like the lack of extensive gameplay is this massive concern. But when we're like within 6 months of games launching, they're usually showing us a bunch. So if we don't start seeing pretty extensive, drawn out, uncut gameplay of some of these games, then it's hard. It's so hard not to be concerned. It's like, yo, why aren't you showing us the game? Like, why is everything chopped up? We've been doing this too long, y'all. We've been doing this too long to fall for lack of gameplay or chopped up gameplay or fully rendered gameplay. We've been doing this for way too long. Nobody should have fell for Redfall. Nobody. Anybody with a critical eye looking at those trailers, you knew something wasn't right. It was like, something's not right here. Everything's chopped up. The movement's weird. The enemies act odd. Everybody wanted to make fun of the IGN player. Oh, he's a bad player. No, he wasn't. He was trying to let us know. Dude, something's wrong with this game. And here's the thing. With a year this full, I'm going to tell you something right now. Your game better be ready to go. Your game better be ready. It better be polished. It better have all its bolts tightened because this year is busting at the seams. And if your game drops and it's not ready, that whole they'll fix it later crap, that gets less traction now. That gets less traction because it's like, dude, there's another game coming out in a week. I don't need your game. Like, there's an ocean of games launching this year. So if your game isn't ready or your game has problems, that's why I'm like, dude, let Hellblade 2 cook. Please, please let it cook. If Hellblade's 30 FPS, I'll play it on PC, and as God intended, I'll get 60 FPS. If Hellblade 2 is 30 FPS on the Series X, we'll just have to call that what it is. That's just an embarrassment. You can no longer act like it was an artistic decision, and while the creation engine's little procedural this and perceptive that, and I can fill my ship with potatoes. If Hellblade 2 launches at 30 FPS on the Series X, bro, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna play it on PC and take my Xbox Series X and trade it in. What do I need it for at that point, right? I'll only keep it for my kids at that point. If I always have to retreat to PC to get 60 FPS, what in the world did I buy a Series X for? I mean it. Stalker 2, same deal. Stalker 2, if I got to retreat to my PC to get 60 FPS, then what in the world did I buy? What did I buy? Lono, I think you forget. We've been gaming longer than a lot of these people have been alive. They don't have the eyes we have for that stuff. Well, it's time to level up your perception, folks. It's time to level up your perception. If the game footage is heavily chopped up, if the game footage seems fully rendered and a little too shiny, well, it might be too good to be true. We've fooled me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't get fooled again. Yeah, I'm not falling for it anymore, dude. And there's too many games coming out. There's just too many. It's like, listen, man, March 22nd, there's like 3 games coming out at the exact same time. So if your game launches, like, let's take Jedi Survivor as an example. The way Jedi Survivor launched. If your game launches the way Jedi Survivor launched in 2023, see you later, bye, no one cares about you. The year's too full. So that's a message to publishers and developers. If a game year is this full, then take the time you need. Delay the game if you need to. You're going to be stacked up against 5 other games in the month that you've decided to launch in. And if you come out and you got crashes, bugs, glitches, and all kinds of other problems, real easy to put your game down. Real easy to put your game down. Because there's an ocean to just, I'll just go play this game over here. Especially if Microsoft starts putting Activision Blizzard stuff on Game Pass with regularity, that's a death sentence if you land on Game Pass and you're not ready to go. Because they're like, well, I didn't pay for this crap. Let's uninstall it. Let's uninstall it. And they'll go play something else. They'll be like, well, I've got all these Activision Blizzard games I can play. So why would I play this? 60 FPS makes me dizzy. I think some people, 60 FPS just feels too fast. Like the extra frames throw them off. It makes sense. I said the other day, my dad can't watch someone play a game like that. Like if he watches like a first-person game, he can't do it. He can't do it. It'll like make him dizzy, Hang on, we're gonna be doing a Reforge recap with Mike. What? The name is not valid? Oh, I think I have what is that, a semicolon? You can't use semicolons. You can use commas, can't use question marks when you're like naming a file. I'm just like saving these JPEGs. You don't like first person either? Yeah, a lot of people, it's just a matter of what you're used to. Like, once you get used to 60 FPS, going down to 30 feels like a slideshow. Like, to me, it feels blurry. It's like somebody rubbed Vaseline on the television. It's like, it doesn't look right. But there are people, there are people that literally can't do 60. They're like, oh, it looks too fast. Am I able to do the show with Mike? Yeah, any public show you guys can come to. The only change we made is that, like, Friday nights with my wife and, like, the daily writer's room that we go to, that's only for paying members, you know? The people that are gifting every single month fully supported that move, right? The people that are like, look, man, we drop gifteds on this channel every month, and we think the exclusive content should be exclusive. So the only thing you've got to do is bump up to the 6. If you can't bump up to the 6, you still get a monthly community game night. You still get a stream every month if I do one with Hilly. And then you get a daily Q&A session where we switch the chat to members only. So you still get all those things on a membership that, you know, somebody else has paid for you. You still get all those things. Is Far Cry 7 happening anytime soon? I don't think so. No. I mean, I'm not sure who they would have make it. Who made Far Cry 6? Was that massive? Developers. Can't see. Which team developed it? Oh, Ubisoft Toronto. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're working on another one. I don't know. Does anybody know what Ubisoft Toronto is working on right now? It looks like, are they working on the Splinter Cell game? It looks like, according to this wiki, they've been working on the Splinter Cell game. So I don't think you're going to get a Far Cry anytime soon if Ubisoft Toronto shifted to that. And they just did the Avatar game. So that was massive. But Avatar was, you know, obviously similar to Far Cry in some ways. It was similar enough that, like, people were pretty critical. Sponsoring Splinter Cell? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what this wiki said, but the wiki could be wrong. A new Splinter Cell could be sweet. I believe it's like isn't it like a remake or a remaster? I can't remember. They've not, like, officially announced it, so isn't it mostly like rumors and insider information? I don't know if they've officially come out and said anything about the next Splinter Cell. How did Far Cry 6 do? I don't think it did that well. I don't think people liked it all that much. You could dust off any old IP for a new game, what would it be? Somebody asked me this a while ago. I'm not sure. Like, I would love a Metroid that's a Metroidvania, because Metroid Dread was more of a Metroid Fusion style, and I wanted more of like a Super Metroid style. But that, you know, I don't know. As far as like IPs that I love, I mean, I would love a Borderlands 4 that's like actually really, really good, since Borderlands 3 wasn't all that good. I don't know. I don't typically have that list of like, oh man, I really hope they go back and remake or revisit that franchise. You know? Creature, are you here? I can, like, ad hoc type it up. I've got my title and thumbnail. I did not have time to type up the description for the Reforge recap. And I don't know if he's scheduling or I'm scheduling. I'm happy to schedule. I just need the description text. I didn't have time to write it this morning. I was like, I barely made it to this show. I was like scrambling to get all the stupid images for all the stinking games. I was like, I need 25 images. Open in a browser so I can tab through them. And that was quite the experience. Thinking about getting T-Lu 1 and 2 on my PS5. Really confused on finding the newer Part 1 and 2 that's coming out soon. Part 1's already out. It's a remake. Nitro Fusion, what you want to do right now is play The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. That's what you want. It's fantastic. Next-gen level fidelity graphics. Unbelievable. I just finished it the other day. It's fantastic. I've not played it since like 2017 when I borrowed my brother's PS3. And then The Last of Us 2 has a remaster coming out in like 14 days. So you've got 2 weeks to beat the Part 1 remake. So that you're good to go right now, man. You just jump into the remake. The Part 1 remake's available. Yeah, it's just called Part 1. The Last of Us Part 1. Oh, they don't put remake in the name? I feel like that would be helpful to people. Days Gone should get a Part 2. Yeah, well, they really hurt that game with how they launched it, and so they didn't get greenlit for a sequel. I think they might get greenlit for a sequel in the future, but Ben Studio is working on something else right now. Okay, he might have gotten tied up with something. Let me see here. Stream holding. You guys just have to bear with me. I will be... wait. This week's Reforge recap will touch on the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks, Star Wars Outlaws release date, the PS5 Pro specs that leaked, and the top new games of 2024 that we are anticipating. And we'll just do Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo hashtags, and then I'll add these. That wasn't too hard. If he typed something up, I'm not sure what happened. He might be, I'm not sure where he is. Let's do that, and like that. And then I need to do with 30 NSG. There we go. All right, let me schedule this. We are going to be doing a Reforge recap. And a lot happened this week. I'm going to be talking about it with Mr. Mike. Oops. Okay, there we go. You can't schedule really far in advance. It doesn't seem to help. So I would have had these scheduled like last night or this morning, but it's not letting me type his name and tag him. I'll have to do that once it's scheduled. Star Wars Outlaws. We'll just put ourselves in that one. Where are my thumbnails? Oh, there they are. Okay. And we'll throw it in. And get our tags in there. All right. And we'll set this to now. All right, it's scheduled. Dismiss. And then let me go in here and set up the redirect. There we go. All right, let me get Mike on the phone here. Okay. Don't switch. Go over here. Start a voice call. Oops, that's not the right thing. Start a video call. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing.
How come when I zoom in my camera on, it doesn't zoom in on Discord? That's weird. I readjusted my, I cropped it, but apparently it didn't crop for you.
Can you, I don't know, is there a setting in Discord to do that? I've never messed with it.
No, I have my camera, I have my camera program.
Yeah.
And I cropped it, zoomed in, but apparently it didn't do it in Discord, so.
Weird.
I mean, I know you can do it on your end, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it doesn't take me too long usually. Boom. Let me change the thumbnail on this one here.
Is my microphone hot?
Yeah, hang on, let me make sure. Oh, hang on, let me turn you down. I had you all the way up. All right, now say something.
Hey, everybody, how's everyone doing?
There we go. Yeah, I had you way up.
Okay.
You know how it is. Week to week, you come in and like Discord decides that your mic's going to be quiet.
Yeah, because it's weird. Because when I watch my past broadcasts, my microphone sounds different than when I watch my past broadcast with you. It's weird.
I don't get it. That's today.
What's going on, chat?
Chat, do me a favor. These Friday streams are super fast. Could we get 200 likes on this stream before we bail? Now you can see Mike. And I'll gift the members that I owe you guys in the next stream. There we go. Yeah, you were already cropped pretty well.
It's like, why am I hearing myself? But I just stream up.
Don't forget to like. You do like 6 times. Yeah, likes can be kind of funky lately and like won't save your likes. Okay.
I just did rebranded my whole GXG podcast. I like redid all the overlays and stuff. What a bitch.
Yeah, anytime I have to change anything like that, I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's such a hassle. Should I flip my camera? Because when I look at the camera, it looks like I'm looking away from you, right?
Oh, I mean, you can. It doesn't matter to me. Why is every website terrible today? Like
I haven't
Twitter
been on until now, so I don't know.
Everything I'm trying to do just doesn't want to work. Like everything's slow, and I've done it on both computers. There it is. Twitter just didn't want to find you. I'm like 30 NSTILL. Like how many letters do I have to give you before you can find him? Jiminy Christmas.
Are you looking for in my YouTube channel? It's just 30 NSG.
Well, no, that wasn't working on YouTube, and now it also wasn't
on
working
Twitter. Yeah,
on Twitter to find you. Okay, there I found you on YouTube. It wouldn't let me tag you when I was scheduling the stream on YouTube. I'm like, what is going on, everybody? All right, let me set up. Okay, redirect is set up. All right, if you guys want to head to the new stream, there is a link in chat. And I'm going to have to quickly run upstairs and be right back. I'm not going to make it through the show. I've been drinking coffee all morning. I'll be right back. You guys can just chill and talk to Mike.
All right. What's going on, chat? What are you guys doing for the new year? How's the first 5 days treating you? It's Twitter, not X. That's right. I never call it X. I'm never going to call it X. Start the new. Yeah. All right, I'm going to move over to the new chat. So I won't be able to see you guys in the current streams chat. There we go. What are you playing, Mike? VR or not? I've been playing a little bit. I just purchased last night. I purchased Ghostbusters. What is it called? Spirits Unleashed. on the Xbox. It was like $20 with the DLC. So I started playing that last night, trying it out. It's pretty fun. It's a straight up multiplayer, like prop hunter type of game with a story embedded into it. Played about an hour and a half or so. Pretty fun. Get to upgrade. You level up real fast in that game, and you can like level up to level 100, and you can do it's called tenure or whatever. So you can actually like hit level 500 basically. Seems pretty good. As far as virtual reality, haven't picked up anything yet. Just been playing. I play a little game called Walkabout Golf, which is a mini golf game, which I really like because I really like mini golf in real life. Now I get to play it when I want. Thoughts on foam stars? I have no thoughts on foam stars.
Okay. All right. I'm going to turn the music down by 1. Okay, chat. Again, there's a link in chat. You can use that to head over. We're also going to redirect you, and that's been working pretty well. When you get over there, make sure and smash the like button. That helps out a lot because we suddenly have this huge influx of viewers, and that influx will look kind of funky on YouTube's end. And I will gift the 10 members that I owe you guys once we get over there. And you guys can obviously keep pushing the number up to 75 if you want. That's the next milestone. Let me get over there. Oh, and let me make sure that Chrome is muted. Don't want that happening. Thanks so much for checking out a weekly segment that I do with my good friend 30 and Still Gaming, and this is the Reforge Recap. If we don't have a big, huge topic to cover, we recap all the topics of the week, and a lot happened this week, from Star Wars Outlaws release date sort of being confused, and then there was the Nintendo Switch 2. Rumors are continuing to heat up, and just looking at what Nintendo might do this year. There was also more specs and more info that came out about the PlayStation 5 Pro. The PS5 Pro might be a thing this year. And then just this morning, I did my top 25 most anticipated games of the year, which was a hard list to make, because the more I looked at 2024, the more I said, this year is fuller than I thought. I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect people over. So if you want to check out that stream, be sure to check that one out. The top 25 games. It's just my